too strong, claim, too strong, claim, too strong, too strong, too strong, claim, too strong, claim.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Random Encounter Podcast. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined by Jesse.
What up, boys?
And Mike.
What up?
And as you can see, hopefully, we have actually a better stream this time. I bought myself a brand new camera with the help of my friends here, and also got a better setup overall. So hopefully the video quality is a lot better than what it was before. Again, like I said before, we do appreciate your support. Every subscribe and every like that we do get on this channel pushes us forward to get even better. But without further ado, let's get started with this podcast. We have a bunch of stuff to discuss today, such as some ports coming to PC, an anime in Fortnite, and a bunch of Pokemon updates as well. And our main topic for today will be, how big is too big? Are these open world games just too giant now? First off, let's start off with our gaming news. Death Stranding, Xbox teased that Death Stranding is actually coming to Xbox Game Pass on PC. I think that's a pretty cool deal. I haven't played Death Stranding myself. Actually, I did play the beginning of Death Stranding, but I know, Jesse, you're a big fan of Death Stranding. What do you feel about that coming to Game Pass on PC?
So this one's actually, like I said, even with you talking before we even began the podcast, this game was my game of the year last year. Honestly, getting to play it through again on PC might actually be a bigger change. If you look through the trailer, they added the Half-Life DLC, I believe, or their little campaign for it, and a whole bunch of extra features. And I believe with this one as well, you could change the voice acting to the Japanese as well. So you could see Norman Reedus actually speak in Japanese, which is kind of hilarious.
That's dope.
And I was reading, like, a lot of people were getting upset about it. I don't know why. This game's a 10 out of 10 solid masterpiece, and dude, I'm excited. Mike, how about you?
I've always wanted to play it because I don't mind slower paced games, and everyone like on Reddit and everything called it a walking simulator and stuff like that. But I did hear that the director's cut makes it like a lot better. Have you played the director's cut or just like the original?
Yeah, I played the director, so I got it on PS5, and
okay.
The director's cut adds like cutscenes and stuff that was like really pulled out of the game originally and added back, and they updated like some traversal items to make it a little bit easier on you. Like, I hooked into it and just played it from start to finish, and like I told James, I was bugging James for weeks on end to actually, dude, you need to sit down and play it. It is the game of the year, like, and never wanted to spoil it for him because it was actually like one of those games you have to sit down and like experience as a whole, because it's a community game. Like, whatever you lay down is online for somebody else to use, your ropes, your vehicles, everything like that.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so you could watch the world actually build, where they're building roads where normally roads weren't. You're building ladders, stairs, everything like that, and you're actually traversing and making everything easy for everybody. So it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah,
oh, that's dope.
See, I lied. I did play it on PlayStation Plus when the new PlayStation Plus came out. And that was pretty cool. That right on that first mission where you have to go into like that building and you see those I don't even know what they're called, like the weird like figure things that come out.
The shadows.
Yeah, those shadow things. Somebody already had built like a path to go there, so it made it easy. I just had to follow the path, climb up a ladder, and bam, I was there. Versus having to traverse like all the way around. But I do think that kind of like live living world where if other people build something, it affects your world, I think that's pretty cool. Kojima, I mean, he's a brilliant like mastermind when it comes to video games. I love the Metal Gear Solid series, as we talked about last week, with me trying to get back into Metal Gear Solid 5, and I just think like his story pacing is really well done, well written. I know a lot of people hate on Kojima because he's very cutscene heavy, but I think it brings just new life to it. I know they say also he's more of a movie producer than a game director, but I don't believe in that. I think he makes great games that feel great to play, that also have a really good story. He's one of the very few developers out there that have a good story and good gameplay.
He's never put out a bad game.
Yeah,
like honestly,
exactly.
like he really hasn't.
Yeah, even
Like Death Stranding is the most like controversial. You know what I mean? Like,
and
but
to me,
it's still good.
It still was fun. I get the aspect of you have to hold like L2 and R2 to kind of balance out. That could be kind of annoying, but it keeps you like on your toes, right? Like you're always paying attention to the game, which is pretty neat.
And even when they're like on missions, they'll tell you like, oh, here's the distance and how far you gotta go, and you're like, okay, cool, it's about to rain. Do I need A, B, C, D to make sure I'm safe, or do I just bolt it, grab a vehicle, and just haul over there? It kind of gives you that time to actually think and have your loadout
that sounds
ready
exciting.
for you.
That seems like fun. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like
I'm definitely gonna check it out once it comes to Game Pass. Is it the director's cut that's coming to Game Pass?
Yeah, it's the director's, and it's adding it's a PC version, so it's adding the Half-Life skin as well as Half-Life monsters into the game, and a few other things from Half-Life. So it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, it comes out on the 23rd. So what? 2 days from now?
Yeah.
Technically, that's what's up, dude.
But that's not the only announcement of a game coming to a different platform. Kenna Bridge of Spirits is actually coming to Steam. It's been actually on PC. It was an Epic Games exclusive, and now it's moving over to Steam. I do have a question with that because I feel a lot more developers are going to start losing that. Like they're going to want to not put their games on Epic Game Store anymore as much because of the Steam Deck. I feel that the Steam Deck is now changing developers' minds, right? Like for me personally, I haven't bought a game on Epic Game Store because I want to be able to play my games on Steam Deck, and if I can't play it on the Steam Deck, then it's like, well,
worthless.
Exactly. I'll just play. That's kind of the down issue with Game Pass as well, because the only way to play it on the Steam Deck is either you install Windows or you go ahead and play through cloud gaming. But I really don't want to do that. What do you guys think? Do you think that a lot of developers are going to be switching their mind and trying to port over their games that are exclusive to the Epic Game Store over to Steam as soon as possible?
I think as soon as the Steam Deck gets in more people's hands and it gains more traction, I think all these people are going to start working with Steam. So I think GOG, Epic, all those are going to like start like partnering with them, to have their games, so you can play their games on their Steam Deck and everything like that. Or they could just, Epic owns Fortnite and they print money. They could make their own handheld. You know what I mean? Like down the road.
That's true. Yeah.
So I think at this point, which I don't think that's a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like to have like a bunch of different kind of handhelds out there like that, because I think it keeps everyone on their toes.
Yeah.
I mean, because monopolies are bad. Yep. And Steam Deck isn't a monopoly, but it's like it's almost there because it's the most popular one. They print money too because they're the main launcher on PC pretty much is Steam. So but I think the Steam Deck is gonna help transition everything to the handheld, to the Steam Deck more.
Yeah. And I think with like Epic, honestly, like they had good intentions when it first came out because they were giving more of the money back to the developers. That was like their initial plan for Epic Games, was to give back. Now I see it like you guys were saying, I give it a year or two and I feel like Epic might have like their version of the Steam Deck. Because if they're going to be losing like AAA titles, heavy indie hitters, stuff like that, it would only make sense for them to, hey, look, let's make our version. Me personally, I do buy stuff off of the Epic Game Store just because of that simple fact. It does give them more of the profits back to the developers and actually lets those developers be able to know their funds.
They have a lot of coupons too.
Yeah, and they give you a lot of really great deals. And then the cool thing about it is right at checkout too, it asks you, hey, do you want to subscribe to their newsletter for this developer? And you get news on whatever games are coming out from that developer. I mean, if you think about it, what Kingdom Hearts is still a
It's
exclusive.
on Epic. Yep.
So
So is
seeing
shoot, I forgot the name of it. What is the Final Fantasy Souls-like game? Strangers in Paradise.
Strangers in
Yeah.
Paradise.
Yeah, so that's still
That's
exclusive
Epic
on
exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
just
know
Epic
that.
exclusive. So like
Which is
seeing
something
that,
I've been waiting to play because I was gonna get it on PS5, but I was like, you know what, I'll wait, to play it on Steam
Well-
Deck, and then I found out it's Epic
well,
exclusive.
You know you can get the Epic launcher on the Steam Deck. You just
You
need
can,
internet
that is
access.
true.
Yeah.
It's just not Steam,
Yeah, right. It doesn't work. You're pretty much cloud gaming at that point
Yeah.
because you need like a good internet access and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's too
I
much
guarantee-
things to go through. I would rather just have native support, buy it on Steam, have one launcher that does it all versus having to have, multiple different launchers, right? It's
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's going to be an app down the road. Like once it like gets more popular, there's going to
Yeah.
be an app for everything.
oh yeah,
they
there
would just
should
have
be.
to make it work with Proton or somehow make it native to Linux or something like that for it to work. But I mean, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens in the future. But speaking of
We'll
Epic
see.
Games, Fortnite has a nice crossover with Dragon Ball. As you guys know, or the people who know me rather, I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan. Dragon Ball's like that one anime I can rewatch over and over and over again. And I think it's pretty cool. They added Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, and Beerus, as well as some little props like Nimbus Cloud, Power Pole, and so forth. Jesse, I know you've been playing Fortnite a lot. What do you think of the crossover?
It's actually kind of cool. So like with the crossover, we all knew it was going to happen because of the movie coming out. It was actually data mined months in advance, so you kind of knew what was going on.
Yeah.
The event actually like gives you a whole bunch of cool stuff. So if you're just strictly free to play, the only downside is you don't get the Goku or Vegeta skin or Beerus, but you do get Shinron as a actual glider in the game. The events are super fun. Like there's just a event where you're in the either the turtle helmet or turtle from Dragon Ball the tournament. Can't remember off the top of my head right now, but you're literally just in a field with 50 guys just shooting blasts at each other.
That's pretty cool.
Like like I was explaining in the last podcast, it's kind of weird you partnering up and you're partnering with like 5 different guys with different skins and
Yeah.
like it feels true to Dragon Ball. Like the skin looks like they legit ripped Goku out of the anime and put him in there. I mean, it's lasting till I believe the 13th, I believe. So you have time to
September?
actually yeah.
Okay. Oh,
So you have
I might
enough time.
fun.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
enough time to like do the offense. They're very basic, like get a kill with this move or like sprint this distance.
Do they have a? I watched someone I follow on my Instagram. They're showing actual Dragon Ball Super episodes somewhere.
Yeah,
on their
there's
thing? Yeah, yeah.
actually there's 9 episodes I believe that you could see. It's basically like the big power or big points of either Goku's, Gohan's, or Vegeta's cycle, because those were like the 3 major characters from the movie, the new movie, as well as you get to see sneak peeks of the movie right before you sit there. Like it's kind of cool getting friends together because you guys all sit in the lobby. You could put it on full screen and you could just watch episodes of Dragon Ball like Super together. So it's kind of cool.
That's dope.
Yeah. I mean, that
And then-
might be the one thing that pushes me to play Fortnite because I'm a huge
And then-
Dragon Ball fan, and that
I'll
looks
play it
pretty
if you
cool.
play it.
And then
Well,
the cool
we'll
thing
see.
is too, like there could be hints of future Dragon Ball characters because one of the packs gives you the turtle shell and Master Roshi's staff. So like, hey, maybe later down the road if they see this hits or it prints them more money, which it will. I mean, I dissed almost like $50 into all the skins and everything.
$50.
to see in the
That's
future.
crazy, dude.
Both. So
That's a full game.
So the skins come in packs. So like you get the what was it? It was Goku and Vegeta together. No, it was Goku and Beerus together. And those skins give you 3 other additional skins that you could use, like Super Saiyan Blue, Ultra Instinct. Beerus had his own base skin, which makes me upset.
Yeah.
Because, like, you pick the skin, he's floating. Like, it shows him floating, but when you're in game, he doesn't float, which
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. So why they add the animation on there?
I did see that. I was wondering, like, when my sons, they went to go get the skin, and I saw it, I was like, oh, cool. Beerus looks like he floats. But then when I saw that he doesn't float in game,
Look, it doesn't make sense.
I was like, come on. Not only
And then,
that,
like-
I do gotta say that it's also weird seeing the Fortnite animation just with like Goku over it. And I'm like looking at it, I was like, why is Goku using a gun? Like,
Yeah,
he doesn't
like,
need to use a
well,
gun.
well, there's been those memes lately where, like, you see, because Naruto was, been in Fortnite for a while now,
Yeah.
and there's those memes of Goku holding a gun to, like, Naruto, and it's been, like, these crazy memes about, like, oh, Darth Vader with Goku, and, like, all these, like, Rick and Morty with, like, Goku now. It's kind of weird to see him with, like, crazy, like, skins and, like, the emotes and everything like that.
Fortnite's like a fever dream, dude. I swear,
Honestly,
man.
dude, I will tell you guys this, like, Fortnite is the Funko Pop of video games, like, hands down, like...
So let me ask you this: which has the better crossover, Smash Bros or Fortnite?
Dude,
it's Fortnite.
Fortnite. Like,
So?
I hate to say it, because, like, if you think about it, like I said, it's legit the Funko Pop of video games. You have everything main pop culture.
Yeah.
You had, like, there was offense with, like, Bruno Mars. There was offense with
Travis Scott
like,
too.
Travis
Like, he had a
Scott.
concert and Ariana Grande and stuff.
Yeah, like, it's crazy how, like, this game that was, like, under my radar for years, and I was always like, oh, this is a baby game, I'll never play it. Like, it's only for kids. Like, since December of last year, I've sunk almost 900 plus hours into just Fortnite alone. And it hooks you. Like it's crazy.
That's
Like I was explaining to you guys last podcast, it's just crazy where you're like, oh, I don't really want this Indiana Jones skin, but it's in my battle pass. Like, I'm going to get him. Why not?
Might as well.
Like, might as well. Like, it's cool to see, like, during the season, the map changes. So it's not like the same base map that you start off with. It blooms and blossoms throughout the whole season to actually into like a big high point. And then you get to play that high point like before the season ends, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when Destiny was like that back in the day.
Yeah, like when Destiny 1 was awesome, and then like I tried Destiny 2 and it wasn't that great. So it's just like.
But the thing is with Smash Bros too is like it's mainly Nintendo, you know, like crossovers. Like they have like a few characters that like aren't from Nintendo, but Fortnite is so like crazy, dude. Like it literally like it's like the y'all ever seen that movie like Ready Player One?
Yeah.
Or it's pretty much like Ready Player One. You know, the only thing you need is a VR helmet, and you're pretty much there.
Yeah, like it's like the only game that I could join a team and somebody's Naruto, Darth Vader, like Joker from actual like DC, Batman, like, and like if you look at the skins, like half of the skins look really good. Like there was a Batman Begins skin from the old trilogy, the Dark Knight trilogy. Looks like it was just ripped from the movie. It was crazy. Like the battle pass, or if they have a subscription, which is like $11 a month, which I just subscribe because it's cheaper, like to just subscribe to it than not. And like they had a Wolverine from the newest comics, and like all the skins they're using, I think, the new version of Unreal now, so it looks just stunning. Yeah. With ray tracing and everything like that, it's just
you're a great salesman, man.
I know.
I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just gonna go play Fortnite. You know, like
no, this is sponsored, bro. But like, it was one of those games, like during the holidays, just a few coworkers was just like, "Hey, dude, you want to play? Like, let's play something together." And everybody decided on Fortnite. and like from like I would say my first 2 matches, I was just strictly hooked. Like it
I'm gonna
has
hit you up on there. I'm gonna test it out.
definitely,
We'll see.
bro. Definitely, we could play. Like, and the cool thing is, there's like I believe right now there's a recruit a friend bonus. So like you could get a free skin and some like currency if you want to buy other skin if you actually stick with it. So
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, in my opinion, I'm kind of like on the Nintendo
Sponsor us,
side.
Epic Games.
I do, I do love Smash Bros. And I do like. I guess what's different from Fortnite and Smash Bros. Aside from one's a fighting game, one's a shooter, is how every individual character plays differently, right? Like you have Snake in there. You know, we were talking about
Yeah.
Kojima Metal Gear Solid, and he plays totally different from say Mario or from Sonic or Pac-Man or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of cool, and I always enjoy to see crossovers because you know, especially in gaming history, it's very rare that you see crossovers like that. You know,
exactly.
how cool is it to see you know Master Chief versus Kratos and things like that, right? You know, the fanboys gonna have their war right there by using those two characters. So no, that's definitely something I'm gonna consider. Like I said, I might try it out because Dragon Ball is that one thing that might push me to do that.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I guess we'll wait and see. But this podcast is not about Epic Games. They're not sponsoring us. So let's move on to the next
They should.
topic. Our next topic is about Pokemon. Pokemon Violet and Scarlet just had an update introducing a brand new Pokemon. I know, Jesse, you saw the news. I'm going to let you take over
Yeah.
for that because
So I
still have
watched-
yet to read over that.
Okay, so I watched it live. It was at the end of the Pokemon tournament that they were having in London.
Mhm.
So we got a
They still
announcement.
do those? That's crazy.
Yeah, well, they stopped for 3 years because of COVID, and then they decided, hey, look, like the cases have been going down, stuff like that. Let's try to bring it back because Pokemon's about being together and playing together. So
Right.
they showed off the competitive play trailer, which reveals the new Pokemon, Silazar, or however you would pronounce it. We didn't get an official announcement of it. Kind of looks like the pre-Evo of the legendary Pokemon, so the box art Pokemon. From there, he has a ability which basically he could go into Substitute, which, if you know in Pokemon, Substitute prevents a hit from happening to one of your Pokemon, where you could switch out, or it makes a Substitute, then switches out for other Pokemon, and that Pokemon's under Substitute. It added a few more items to the game too competitively. So they have a loaded dice now. It's a held item that increases the hit of 2 to 5 hit moves, as well as kind of explains a little bit more about the crystallized Pokemon. So if they do get hit by a water move, and if you're a water crystal, it does little to no damage. Plus, if your Pokemon has an ability that supports if it getting hit, it actually boosts that ability as well. As well as a few other things like some berry that they added to the game. So if somebody increases their stats, your berry pops and increases stats as well. So it's going to change the competitive game big time. I feel like it might just do what they've been talking about, power creeping in Pokemon, where like competitive, you could literally do a match in like anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes if you know what you're doing. They also announced that Pokemon Go is having an event where you could get the London-based Pikachu and a few other things. Then they were talking about the McDonald's promotion that's going on in the US for the Pokemon
Cards.
with the trading cards, as well as they said, hey, look, I think around the game's release is the new expansion for the trading card game as well. So the new mechanic got announced there. I didn't really pay attention to the TCG stuff because I just do the Digimon trading card game.
Yeah.
But it kind of looked like something I would pick up and actually want to try out. Nothing about their app that was supposed to come out for the Pokemon trading card game that was supposed to be out like
Yeah, I
months
remember.
ago.
Yeah, they're revamping that.
Yeah, they were supposed to update it. We were supposed to, like, rumors were that during this we were going to get the announcement about it or what it was supposed to be, and
Yeah.
nothing. Exactly nothing. We got to hear what the new battle music is too in the trailer for the competitive. The competitive trailer placed the new battle music. Even if you look at the still imaging
Yeah.
from what 2 weeks ago, I think a little over 2 weeks ago to now, the graphics like still are looking better and better. Like if you really look closely at the new Pokemon that they announced, you could see scales. Like something that you would normally not see on a Pokemon. They're usually, cheaply drawn or drawn to a certain art style. Now they have scales, so it's kind of cool to see what's going on there. Um, but other than that, we didn't really get too much more information.
Yeah.
Just, hey, look, this is for the competitive scene. Take it as is, and here's a new Pokemon.
Yeah, they're usually quiet when it comes to the new games. They like to wait till the last minute to show everything.
Well,
And
yeah.
I think it's for the better, honestly, because
It should be.
yeah, a lot of games I feel like they show trailers way too early, way ahead of time, and you get hyped
Years in
and then-
advance.
Exactly.
Well,
And it's like,
my
why
favorite.
show us everything? It's kind of like movie trailers, right? There's a lot of
Yeah.
movie trailers. They show you the whole movie in one trailer. It's like, why? Why don't
And-
you just give us a small bit of it and let us know, what kind of the main story is about, and we'll figure out
Yeah.
the rest when we watch the movie.
And like my favorite like spoiler trailer was when God of War came out, like and the new God of War and whatchamacallit, I was watching it live to show the new trailer and then all of a sudden boom, like it spoiled it. Somebody walked by and was like, why who?
Yeah.
I was like, well, if you didn't play it, you wouldn't know, and it kind of spoils it. So it feels like these games, like trailers,
Yeah.
I think Pokemon goes down that right path of, hey, look, we're not trying to spoil it. Like, as much as we want to be spoon-fed what the new Pokemon look like,
Yeah.
like, it's better just to surprise us as time goes.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah, I agree. Well, Pokemon Violet Scarlet is something I'm really looking forward to. Can't wait for it to come out. And if it's anywhere as good as Pokemon Legends Arceus, then I'm down for it. I'm ready to dive into a new Pokemon game. But moving on, what have you guys been playing? Let's start with you, Mike. Oh,
Yeah.
did we lose you, Mike?
I think Mike is frozen.
We did lose him. He's frozen. So I'll go ahead instead. So I finally did download Metal Gear Solid 5 and started playing that. And I forgot how good that game is, especially the introduction to it. I really do enjoy, how Kojima does his story bases. And I do like the whole mystery of everything. You kind of see the enemies there, attacking the hospital. And that whole little tutorial playthrough is done really, really well. I feel like a lot of tutorials are too handheldy. And they don't go ahead and, kind of let you be free to do whatever you want. So that's my biggest issue when it comes to a lot of games. So I do like the way Kojima does that in Metal Gear Solid 5. And I'm loving it. I'm still in the beginning. I'm still like on maybe like the third mission. I already freed Kaz and I got everything set. So I'm just doing that in the beginning. But I can't wait to hopefully beat it this time because I get sidetracked by all the side missions and just every person I see, I go ahead and put a Fulton and go ahead and send them to Mother Base there. So yeah.
So question, are you doing a non-kill playthrough or are you just going to wing it as it goes along?
Well, I'm gonna just go and wing it as it goes along.
Okay, cool.
My goal this playthrough is to actually beat the game. Like that's my
and
goal.
that Fox engine still looks beautiful.
Yeah,
like it
holds
looks
up a
so
lot,
impressive.
especially on the Steam Deck screen. When I'm playing on that small screen, I was like, wow, like it looks still nice and crisp. I mean, that engine is kind of sucks because Kojima doesn't have the rights to that engine, but that engine was definitely way ahead of its time. It still looks great. It doesn't look outdated at all. When you look at the cutscenes and everything, it just looks phenomenal. It sucks, but the Decima engine that Kojima's using right now, that's from Guerrilla Games, still looks good enough in my opinion. I think
It still looks great.
Horizon Forbidden West looks also amazing. Mike, what have you been playing?
I'm still playing Horizon Forbidden West, honestly. Yeah, I'm trying to beat it. The open world's really big. You know what I mean? Like, so it takes forever to do anything. There's a million like side quests and everything. So I'm just on that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm not really playing anything else. I've been working on creating content. Like, yeah,
How it should be, right? Yeah.
right,
I should
yeah.
probably do more of that too.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesse? What you been playing?
So, like I
Aside
said,
from Fortnite.
minus the Fortnite stuff.
Remember, we're
Because
not
I could go on
sponsored yet. We're
that
not
for
sponsored yet.
I could go on hours about that. But
Fortnite.
but minus Fortnite, I'm still making my way through Pokemon Sun and Moon. I told you about that last week. You guys asked, was shocked that I picked it up.
Yeah.
Just wanted to play it just to see. Like, I never really gave it a shot, and it's kind of interesting to see the change from what they were thinking from no gyms and stuff like that. And even seeing like Red and Blue grown up and kind of going down that rabbit hole is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, let's see what else I was playing. I can't talk about Fortnite. I already did for like 20 minutes straight.
Yeah.
But I was playing a old DS game because I've been still on my Dragon Ball Z kick.
Yeah.
Attack of the Saiyans. It's a It's a Dragon Ball Z RPG based around Nappa and Frieza, or Nappa Saga. So
And
both Raditz.
Do you know who developed that game?
No. Who was it? Like, I know it was Monolith.
Soft. Yeah.
Oh, they were probably called something different at that
No,
time because it doesn't show it on the
it
like
does show
screen. It does?
Yeah, they
I must
developed
have not
that
paid
game.
attention.
Yeah,
And
so
I've been
the creators, for those of you who don't know who Monolith Soft is, they're the creators of Xenoblade Chronicles, as well as, the creator of that also did like Xenogears and Xenosaga. But yeah, they developed a Dragon Ball Z game, a Dragon Ball Z RPG game at that, which is, I've heard good things about it. I have yet to play it.
It's actually pretty good.
Is that a Game Boy Advance game?
No, it's a
DS game.
DS? Okay.
Yeah.
Now trying to
I haven't
find
played
it
that
in the wild or trying to buy a copy, like I was lucky to have one, but
Yeah.
like they go for like 70, $80 for this game. Like, it's a pretty pricey game. Like one other game that I'm actually playing and going through again, I broke out the GameCube and technically the Wii, so there's two I've been playing. Since I've been in my Dragon Ball Z kick, I've been playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Oh man, yeah.
Which, hands down, the best Dragon Ball Z fighting game of all time.
Well, I don't know.
Minus fighters.
Yeah, I would say like fighters. Is up there.
Minus fighters, but like it's a solid title. And then I'm doing your challenge in Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
You laid it on the table last week. I picked it up. I'm on chapter 6 right now. No deaths yet, and no restarts. So, like, I could tell where
Easy
you're
mode.
like.
I know you're playing easy mode.
No, man, I'm on normal.
You
I'll
have to try to flex. It's okay. It's okay.
I tried. I first started on hard.
Stream it or it didn't happen.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
stream it.
Right.
I'll get
We
it
have
to
the
work.
Random Encounter podcast on Twitch. You can stream it right on there. And then
There we go. We'll stream it. Because I tried it on hard, made it to chapter 3, and then like everybody just wiped. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'll try it on normal. And like you were saying, like even on normal, like it is crazy. And then
Well, isn't normal like the hard in that game?
yeah, normal is
Yeah.
hard because it was
Yeah.
translated.
Hard is very hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hard is like
okay.
their. If you ever played like MGS4 or like MGS2, it's the European extreme version of
so
it.
there's like some so in that game it's funny when you're playing normal mode, if you go near a boss, they for the most part they won't go to you, but if you do hard mode, they'll start crawling to you, and the bosses in the games can be ridiculously hard. That no matter what level you're at, you have to have multiple people attack them, or else they're gonna one shot you. So that's what makes it pretty hard. It's like if you're doing very hard, they'll follow you around the whole map, and you gotta figure out how to deal with them while dealing with all the other enemies attacking you. at once.
Yeah, and then like the final game before like I stop is Pokemon Colosseum. I picked that up.
Oh, nice.
I played it as a kid and never finished it. I always thought it was like, oh, this is not a Pokemon game. So I'm going through that. I just started, so it's nothing like too big to talk about. I'll probably talk more about it next week.
Yeah.
Or the next podcast about it. But so far, those have been the games that have been in my library at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, I definitely actually want to get back and try out the Attack on Saiyans game. It's funny that you mentioned that because I was discussing it with somebody earlier today, and I was like, man, like I really have to try that game out.
Well, like it was crazy because like I'm sitting there one night or last night, and we were like just watching Dragon Ball and stuff like that, and I was like, you know what, like I'm going to break out the 3DS, pop it in, and like 4 a.m. comes around, and I'm like, dude, this game sunk me in. Like, it's actually unique how they did it. It basically it feels better than Kakarot. Like, I will say that much.
Yeah, but moving on to our next topic and our main topic, how big is too big? We're in the time where basically open world games are giant, and a lot of people are talking about how, oh yeah, this is 10 times bigger than the last game, and so forth. For an example, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, huge game. The map is way too big, and to me, I jumped off. Like after 40 hours, I was like, yep, I've already spent my $60. I had my enjoyment of the 40 hours. I'm not gonna finish it. And the whole reason behind that is just the game. The map is way too big. Like just to going from one side to the other is just ridiculous. How big is too big? Like do you prefer a giant open world, or would you prefer something more enclosed in either smaller areas or just smaller maps, such as let's say Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild might be a bad example. That's pretty big.
That's a big game too.
Yeah,
sorry,
Breath of the Wild is still pretty big. I don't know, like what is a smaller map? I feel overall, I just feel like these open world games are way too big. Like I enjoy open world games, and I don't mind them. Breath of the Wild I was able to beat, but I think it was mainly because of the exploration aspect of it, right? Like you kind of go out, and it's just your mission is to defeat Ganon, and you're free to do whatever. It had a beautiful art style, so it kept me intrigued. Versus Valhalla, it's like, oh yeah, you need to go here, and then you go and look at your map, and it's all the way on the top side of the map. You're like, oh man, like I have to travel all the way over there just to do that. Like, oh man, how big is too big, guys?
I think so. With like Breath of the Wild, for example, you have a good traversal system because like it's true. You know what I mean? So it doesn't take forever to get somewhere because the traversal system's good. But like when you have games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, for example, like it gets to the point where like you're doing like these fetch quests, and you're just like kind of like fast traveling everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of like, it's like, go to this city, and then you're going to, like, the other point is on the other end of the map, and then you're just going to fast travel, because, like, you're not going to waste 10 minutes, you know what I mean, just to, like, run over there. So, like, but there's games that, like, do it good, like, you know, like Elden Ring. You know, like, Elden Ring, to me, is, like, game of the decade. You know, like, it was just, it was amazing. You know, like, and it's, like, the horse is good, and you still have a fast travel system, but, like, half the time you don't want to fast travel because you don't know what you're going to run into. Yeah. You know, because, like, so it's like the world is so condensed, and there's always something going on to where you're like, I'm not going to fast travel, I'm going to travel there, because, you know, there's so much stuff to do on the map. And it's like, it's the same with like Red Dead Redemption 2. You know what I mean? Like, there's not really a fast travel system implemented in that. The world's big, but like you run into like random like stuff going on, which is like super fun. But some of these games just make a big open world that's empty. Yeah. And that really like irritates me, because I feel like I don't care if a game's open world. I care if it has content. You know, like, so right now, like I said, I'm playing Horizon Forbidden West. It's not the worst case I've ever seen, but it's still very big, and there's not really, like, a lot going on. I don't know if y'all have played it yet.
I have,
but it's not yet.
I couldn't get into the first one, so I'm
playing it for the story. Yeah.
I'll try to get this later on down the road. It's just like the first one. It came out at a bad time, right? It came out right a week or two before Breath of the Wild, and then you have this one that comes out a week or two before Elden Ring. It's like,
And I played Elden Ring,
Well-
that's why I'm playing it right now. You know what I mean? Like,
And like I told you, it's like the curse of that game. That game like comes out, and then something better comes out right during the same time, and like
yeah,
nobody
poor
picks up.
scheduling, man.
It's
Poor
real
scheduling.
bad on them.
does that mean that when the third Horizon game comes out, Metro Prime 4 will finally be released?
Hopefully, we'll see.
Hopefully.
So
No, I bet you Nintendo's waiting for them to release it, so Breath of the Wild 2 comes out right on the same day,
Right.
bro. Just to try to kill it.
yeah, I don't
I
think
mean-
that's gonna happen. But yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, because like but it's I feel like a small but full world is like big. It's like not big but good. You know what I mean? Like Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
Regardless of all like the issues it had, it's very bland. You know what I mean? The world is big, but there's nothing to do. You know what I mean? Versus like The Witcher 3, which is the same developer, where it's like the same thing. Like the world's big, but there's like stuff going on everywhere. So you
Yeah.
don't want to fast travel. You want to traverse. So I think the thing is like if there's like if someone makes a big open world and they give you stuff to do on the way to your endpoint,
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind it. But like Assassin's Creed is the biggest violator of like making a big empty open world because it's like there's so much nothing in their worlds, and it's such a like I feel like they're wasting my time just so they can have people play their game for longer. You know what I mean?
I think the issue with Assassin's Creed is it's too, how can I put it? It's not really like realism that the world has. Like, I mean, there's like, fake stuff, right? Like you have like Juno and all these other people, the precursors.
Yeah.
But the world is supposed to be realistic, that it kind of makes me lose
Exactly.
interest, at least, versus like Breath of the Wild or Elden Ring. These are fictional worlds, and they make you want to explore. Like Breath of the Wild, playing that, I remember I was like, I see these mountains. I was like, I wonder what's over there. Oh, look, there's a foresty area. I wonder what's over there. Elden Ring was very similar. It's like, I have to go to this direction. Well, let me see what's in this direction, right?
Yeah.
But because they're fictional worlds, you
They're
want to
big.
explore. Yeah. Versus,
They're fantasy, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's like a lot of like stuff going on.
yeah. Versus Assassin's Creed, it's like, oh, this is England or
Flat.
or
You know,
stuff
like
that. It's
flat.
like, yeah, it's like we know this kind of. We can see pictures on YouTube or something, or videos on YouTube and things like that. I still think, in my opinion, the best open world game is Xenoblade Chronicles X, or Xenoblade Chronicles X, however you pronounce it. In my opinion, and that's a Wii U game, it had the best open
Elden
world
Ring.
out there.
Yeah, Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring has better combat, but there's not a living, breathing world like Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah, there
That's
is
true.
though.
No,
Like
so
yeah.
Elden
okay.
Ring does
Like,
not have
Uh,
where you're walking out and then you can see, like, the minute it starts turning nighttime, you start seeing the wolves run away into a cave to go to sleep, and if you follow them to that cave, they're in there actually sleeping. Once it hits daytime, they wake up and they start running around. It doesn't have where you're walking around and next thing you know, two monsters start fighting each other.
Don't quote me on this, but Elden Ring has very similar stuff to that.
yeah.
Like,
a
it has
world that's
very similar stuff
Yeah,
to
it's
it.
similar, but it's
Like,
not the same. Trust me, if you play Xenoblade Chronicles X, you're gonna be like, wow, like, they did all of this on the Wii U of all things too.
Look.
Right.
It has the most living world. Jesse, you've been quiet, and I know we haven't let you talk.
Oh
You gotta
no.
say-
With me mostly playing like RPG stuff like that, like open world games. Like the last really true open world game I played was Elden Ring, and
Yeah.
before that was Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Yeah.
I mean, I only played that for 10 hours. I picked it up and was like, dude, this is just too much. And then the DLC, like, even expanded more on it. And, like, to me, it's nice to have a game that you want players to stay in and play. But if there's nothing to grab you, or, like, there's only a handful of side stories that, like, you're interested in,
Yeah.
it kind of kills that, like, world for you. You don't want to continue. It feels more like how Mike was saying last week. It feels more like a chore to do something than actually, like, play the game. Like, we all have, like, full-time jobs. We don't want to come home, relax, unwind, and feel like you're playing a other full-time job where you're playing a
simulator.
game, like a work simulator. Like, to me, like, if you have an open world game and it's huge, like, make it so that it's interesting. Like, I don't
Like
want
Elden
to
Ring.
see like Elden Ring. I don't want to see, like, I understand I could go on Google or anything and look up Rome and look it up and see pictures and everything like that. Like, if it is an open world experience, like, fantasy base is the way to kind of go with it. Like Breath of the Wild, like you were saying, James. Like, oh, I climbed the mountain. Oh, cool. There's a forest on, like, my left hand side. Let me go explore that forest. Oh, cool. Like, I found a hidden dungeon. Like, let me explore that and see what's all that about.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like most of, if not all of Ubisoft games are always huge
Fetch quests.
fetch
Yeah.
quests. Like, it's
Yeah.
little to no substance, and you're just like, they want you to eat that, like, slop
Yeah.
and just say, hey, we made a huge open world, but here, eat this slop, and it's not fair, like,
Yeah.
for gamers.
And all the
And-
games are the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like every game they put out's the same.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which isn't like it's saying like all open world games are bad. Like, from experiences playing, like, you know, Skyrim and all the like Elden Ring, stuff of that nature, they're not bad games.
Yeah.
It's just like, at the end of the day, if you want 100% it or be a completionist about it, it feels like you're doing a other full-time job, not
Yeah.
something that you're wanting to play. It's like, I feel like I have to play.
Yeah. So I do want to walk my comment back about realism, because Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games of all time, and,
Okay.
and that
Yeah,
is
I
realistic,
love that game.
right? But I think what helps out Ghost of
It's
Tsushima,
done right though.
Exactly.
It's done right.
That
Done
it
right.
has
yeah.
amazing combat, right? The combat's amazing.
It does get repetitive though, but
It-
it's still
it
better
does.
than like any like
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed.
Well, yeah,
like
you have
style.
the weather system's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, seeing the different weather systems, it's beautiful. Like, when you go to different areas, how beautiful it is. You know, I love the combat of, you know, being able to either sneak around or jump in. So maybe realism is not that bad, but I think the whole overall game is done right, and it's not a giant open world compared to Valhalla.
I think the difference is too is like with you know like with like Ghost of Tsushima, you're a samurai who turns into a ninja,
Yeah,
and you get to experience both sides. Like with like play like things with like Valhalla, like you're a Viking, but you don't really feel like a Viking in that game. Or like Odyssey,
No.
you're a warrior. What are you, like a Spartan warrior in that
Yeah.
game? And you don't really get to feel like a Spartan warrior. You know what I mean? Like with
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima, you feel like a badass. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
go in there, you can call them out, pop, pop, pop.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, like, it's just like you were saying, it's the story, which is like, you can have an open world and have a really great story.
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
you were saying with Ghost of Tsushima, like, playing that and like even just walking and looking at the blossoms of like flower petals, like, while you're walking and experiencing the world, it's a whole different like experience than saying like, oh, I'm walking to Rome and I see two boulders, the same 6 NPCs with different names walking around, and oh, look, one's glitching against the wall, glitching against the wall, or like up against a tree. And it's, what I mean? It's just not. It's not like inviting or wanting to be like playing. It's just big, just to be big.
I'll never forget in Black Flag when I jumped onto my ship just flew up in the air. I was like, "What the heck is going on with
I had
me?"
that happen to me before.
But yeah,
man,
I mean,
it's one of those things. Like, not every game should aim to be an open world game.
yeah,
Like it should like make your. I love linear games that have substance to it.
Yeah.
I don't care if a game's linear.
yeah,
As long as there's something there. But like these open world games are getting ridiculous. Like I honestly don't have time to play them anymore.
yeah.
Like
Like,
and
speaking
it's
of linear experiences, Kenna Bridge of Spirits that we talked about earlier. That's one of those games that's very linear. It's a nice action platforming game that's done perfect. You can beat the whole game in
Okay.
maybe less than 10 hours, but it's done perfect. It feels like an old school PlayStation 1 game, but not in the bad way, in the more that it's very focused and very straightforward.
Oh,
but
okay.
there's a lot of, like you beat something, or Zelda, like you beat an area, you fight a boss, you go back to the main hub, you go to the next area, fight that boss, and so forth. But it's
Yeah.
done perfect, and it's nice. There's still exploration in there, but it's a 10-hour experience that you don't feel like it's dragging on, right? Like there's no fetch quest, there's none of that stuff in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I don't know. I'm in the camp that, like you said, games don't have to be open world. Final Fantasy 16, they announced that they're not going to be open world. They're going to have multiple zones that you can explore,
Perfect.
but for the most part,
Yeah.
it's not open world. And to me, I'm fine with that. Like, give me these smaller zones that are more unique, have their own kind of environment, right? Versus something that's giant with a bunch of nothing in between.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of like a plague to the
Yeah.
gaming community, because it's there's only so much you can do with open world, and then all the games start to feel the same.
Yeah.
Especially like
Exactly.
when you get older, we've been gaming our whole lives, so it's kind of like we've already seen all these tropes. So you don't really want to see it on every single game you play. You want something different. And for me, that's why I switched a lot to indie games too,
Yeah.
because they always
Yeah.
do something that's very like unique.
Straightforward and unique.
Yeah, and
Well, it's like- like classic games, right? Like you guys hear me talk about a lot retro gaming. I'm still in that camp that I feel that older games are just, I don't know, they're more fun, right? Like how many times can you go back to Mario 64 and play it?
Yeah.
And it's not a giant open world or anything like that, or Ocarina of Time. It's not a giant open world, but you can still replay it, and it's still fun.
still good every time.
still good.
Every
Exactly.
time.
Versus
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. Like,
I will never play it again in my life, dude. I
No,
played it during COVID. That's the only reason I played it, because I had nothing else to do. So I was just sitting in my house. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Same with the first Horizon Zero Dawn, because I probably would have never played that either.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
So
Well,
And
go ahead, Jesse.
like you were saying, like about retro gaming, like just like we were talking about weeks earlier, like that's all I've been playing lately is just older titles,
Yeah.
because I got tired of feeling like that burnout you would with all of these open worlds. Like
Burnout's real, dude.
it feels like all the games now are just like, oh, we're just making a huge open world. Like I don't want a huge open world unless it's like filled with stories or like something different.
Unless
Yeah.
it's done right.
No, I agree with you. Well, but that's all we have for today. We really appreciate everybody joining in and listening on us discuss things. Sorry for any technical difficulties we might have had, and hopefully you're enjoying the better quality stream that we have. As I said earlier and before in our previous videos, we will continue to improve our quality of videos that we have here. We're going to, of course, get better cameras, better microphones. I'm definitely going to work on getting that better microphone because I know my quality is not the best, but we do appreciate your support. Please continue to like and subscribe. If you don't like our videos, feel free to dislike us and let us know in the comments below what you don't like. And if you do like our videos, let us know what you like about it. Let us know what you want us to talk about, because we're here to discuss all things gaming. My name is James. This is Jesse. That is Mike.
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next episode of the
I
Random
searched as I
Count.
climbed
Peace.
and then I started to fly. I went in deeper. Let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here. I sense it in my feet.